Okay, first I'm going to work question 23, and this is the one about the presidential election. So basically, there are two variables that we don't know. The first one is the number of women who are old enough to vote. We don't know that number, so I'm just going to use W is for the women old enough to vote. And then let's go ahead and figure out how many women are old enough to vote. We know that 62% of the number of women were old enough to vote. So 62%, let's go ahead and write it as 0.62 as a decimal. 62% of means a lot of times when you're trying to find a percentage of something, you're multiplying. So 62% of the women old enough to vote. We don't know that, so 62% of W. But we do know that 62% of the women old enough to vote are 70.4 million voters. So 70,400,000. That's how you would write 70.4 million. Okay, so how would you figure out how to solve for women? Well, anything times, you would do the opposite and divide. And I'm guessing that y'all have gone over solving equations like this. So divide both sides by the number in front of the variable. So when you divide, I've already done that, and I think I got 113,548,387. That's the total number of women who are old enough to vote. So that's step one. And then we have to figure out how many men are old enough to vote. So we're going to let M equal, I'm not going to write all that out, but all the men that are old enough to vote. So we know that 60% voted. So 60% of the number of men old enough to vote. So 60% of the number of men old enough to vote is 60.6 million men. So 60.6 million men. So that's how you would write it. 60,600,000. So same thing, solve for M. So you would divide both sides by the number in front of M. And then when you divide that out, you're going to get, let me see what I got. 101 million. So we're still not done. This is the problem that never ends. How many more women than men? So how many more means we need to subtract. So you're going to say 113,548,387 minus 100 million. So we're going to take this number and subtract this number, and you're going to get, I've already done that, you get 12,548,387, but that would be 12.5 million. Now that's the way that I would work it, and you'll always get the right answer. It may be a little bit longer, but you will definitely get the right answer if you set up your equations and then subtract.